This is Smithy.tv.
Happy Monday morning. It's after the Oscars and all the shooting has stopped. Unless, of course, there is a party that we weren't aware of. This is Breaking Down the News. We are bunkered down here in the bunkers of Smitty TV. Clifton Joseph is here.
Hey, how you doing, Kenny? Long time, brother man.
Yeah, well, it only seems like long because, because, 7 days is a week and more than 1 week is too long. So anyway, folks, we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about this week. We had interesting things to talk about last week. We may talk about some of them, but anyway, I have to first hit right off the bat. It strikes home to me very close. Is this comedian named Mike Ward, very popular in Quebec. He's down tight with Just for Laughs, all that. He's had death threats before over some material he's done, and I believe he's been taken to task by the media there for other material. But now he is facing the Human Rights Tribunal of Quebec. He stands before them because he's made jokes about a young singer, a kid that sang for the Pope, and the material. Some comics may call it punching down, but anyway, the young man's family have gone to the tribunal, and they say that he basically had his human rights violated, and a lot of comedians are saying you do not have the right not to be teased. You do not have the right not to have your feelings hurt. Now, I'm kind of torn on this because I've made my living for over 35 years saying whatever in the hell I wanted to say.
True.
But over the time, I've learned, don't write a check your ash can't cash.
Because I remember at one point, you and Mike Bullard were the only two who had an advisory, right, outside your shows?
Yeah, and it's... And we weren't really even saying that much compared to what we would have said live or anything, but they were still trying to wrestle the wild critter back into the cage. So, a lot of people are saying this is for artists, this attack on freedom of speech. And first of all, we don't have freedom of speech in this country. We don't have a First Amendment. We have a Charter of Rights, but we don't have a First Amendment. I mean, perfect example of that is we have our hate speech laws. You cannot say anything that is considered hateful. And, that's really sad because sometimes hateful shit is funny.
Yeah, I mean, freedom of speech gives you the right to say anything you want to say except as you come into somebody else's space. And I agree with the whole thing about punching down. That's why I kind of didn't like Andrew Dice Clay, some of those comics who went off on a tangent. I think, for instance, there's a big difference between Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you see Dice Clay has just gone into obscurity. But here you have a young man who
got
has...
an excellent acting job on the vinyl.
I haven't seen that yet.
I think he was killed in 2 episodes. But very good.
I hear the ratings are really in the dumps, though. This young man has what's called Treacher's-Collins syndrome, which means that the facial bones in your face don't develop much. And he can sing a little bit, apparently. He sang for the Pope. He sang for Celine Dion. A lot of Catholic churches got him to do his thing. And this dude is making jokes about a dude who's got a condition. I think that's really below the belt. So you can't be out there going after the weak, if you will, the disadvantaged, and
That's what I believe because I'm a child of the 60s.
Yeah.
I was raised, you don't pick on retards. And now they would go, you can't call them retards, Kenny. I can't, but I don't pick on them.
See.
So...
it's cheap. I think it's very cheap.
Yeah.
And if you have to dig that low, I mean, you're full of shit to some degree in my mind. And if you have to go that low for jokes, then fuck you.
But then again, who's to determine what depth somebody can dig for a joke? I mean, that's the argument I spent having the weekend with everybody.
I do for myself, and I think that him going after a dude with Treacher's-Collins syndromes is going below the belt.
It's...
cheap.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. There's a lot of jokes that are considered cheap. I mean, after a while, anything with Caitlyn, Bruce Jenner was considered cheap within 3 days.
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
No, I think you can go after her all the time.
Well,
24 hours a day, baby.
The only reason I backed off it was I really had no interest or desire or care. If it really motivated me, I would,
You had no boner for that particular joke.
I had no bone to pick for Caitlyn.
Or bone to rise, I imagine.
So to me, it wasn't enough of an issue,
But here's the thing, though, about this. At the same time that I don't think that dude is cool to be doing
does not
those
belong
jokes,
in court.
that I don't think it's something that should be going to a tribunal. And also, like the parents are saying that they're looking for $80,000 right? They're looking for $80,000.
Because their income was affected.
Because, yeah, that's what they're saying, and it impugned the young man's character and so on. But 30,000 each, they're going after 30,000 each for them.
Yep.
Right, so that's like 60,000 of the 80,000. So whose reputation is being impugned?
And then 20 grand for the kid, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And lawyers' fees, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. No lawyers doing this.
So
pro bono.
as that guy who likes himself more than anybody else, Kanye West would say, gold digger. It sounds to me like the parents of some gold diggers. And the dude, Mike Ward, said that part of his act was that the family, that the mother is a showbiz mom. And
So that's a personal shot, a personal attack on her
He said that
integrity?
she used some of the money that the young man made to buy a cottage.
Well, that's for the family. The family benefits from the son's, you know. I mean, what did the Jacksons, what did Joe Jackson spend the Jackson 5's money on?
Well, I don't know. But the other
Yes,
thing
we
too-
know. We seen the Homes and Jet magazine.
Yeah.
We seen them on Lifestyles of the Ghetto Famous. We've seen all. What did Shirley Temple's family spend the money on? I mean, anytime you got a child, anytime you are pimping your child's talent, the family or the parents are going to get a little taste.
Yeah, true. And in some cases, what's my man name? What you talking about, Willis?
Oh, Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman sued his parents. Remember?
But they were making money off him since he was 5 years old.
Mm.
You know, when he was 5, he was doing carpet company commercials in Chicago. So by the time he went to L.A., he had tapes of commercials and stuff he'd been doing.
Look, what Mike Ward, one of the things he's getting at and saying, it looks like, is that we have to treat retards, as you call them, as human beings, which means that they can be criticized. I can be down
Right,
with
there's
that
the
to some
defense,
degree.
like you don't, to not pick on somebody
So,
because
yes,
they're handicapped
yeah.
is really racist.
And he seems to be
Yeah,
putting
or not
jabs
racist, but-
at the
yeah.
parents, that the parents are exploiting the young man. Now, I think that you can make jokes about that kind of a thing. So, for instance, I think what these families are doing with Muhammad Ali and our boy Paul Mooney, I think that their handlers, their families are putting them out there. Remember when they pushed out Muhammad Ali to throw the first ball at the baseball game when Ali can't even hold his own hand up?
But they don't have socialized medicine in America, so they got to get Ali's doctor fees together. They got to pay for that woman to come and wipe his chin and change the champ's diaper. So that's legitimate. I mean, he ain't died yet.
So I think that
he
there's some
still
jokes,
needs money.
There's some jokes you can make about that situation, right? Remember when Christopher Hitchens went after what's the name, Mother Teresa, and a lot of people said, "Oh, you criticizing Mother
But he was a
Teresa."
heathen. He's in hell
Yeah,
now.
he's a
Yeah.
So
So
so I think you can criticize, but there's a way of going at it, and not
Yeah.
as nastily as this guy went at it. But at the same time, I think it's folly for the Human Rights Tribunal to be going after him, and I think the parents seem like gold diggers.
Well, hopefully the tribunal rules against it, for the simple fact that as an art form, stand-up comedy, it is the Alamo of freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. And even that's been eroded over the last 10, 15 years because of political correctness.
But what about that, Kenny? There was a case out west that you were mentioning.
Guy Earl.
Yeah, he lost the case. He lost 20 grand or something.
He lost 20 grand, and the venue lost 20 grand. For those of you that aren't familiar with Guy Earl, not a very good comedian. I hope I don't get sued for that.
Dig.
But that would be my opinion and the opinion of many of my peers.
Dig.
He was hosting a show in Vancouver, and some women were not aware there was a comedy show inside, and they had been drinking on the patio, but they closed the patio down. So these two drunk women
Came on in for some.
came into the inside and continued drinking, and proceeded to heckle, and then they started to neck. So he started calling them ugly dykes. And first of all, I'm going, well, see that, to me, that doesn't mean you should go to the Human Rights Tribunal, but just shows you the level of the comedy that he was capable of performing. Mm-hmm. To me, I would have said, hey, why don't you girls go home? I'm sure Ellen's on right now.
Dig.
That way, you could have got your little lesbian jab at him.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Take
see?
some.
That's
what I'm talking
That's
about.
how you throw it at that, or don't you girls have somebody move all trailer U-Haul that you have to pack up? Don't you have carpentry classes waiting for you? I mean, there's 1,000 different things you could have done.
But you have a lawn to go mow?
Except for well, I think there might have been something similar to that is what he said. So, and then it got to the point when he left the stage, he went to their table and their drinks were thrown and sunglasses were broken. And it just became so ugly.
He lost his cool.
Yeah,
Totally.
and the saddest thing was he was getting all this PR, like in England, they were talking about him, and we did a fundraiser for him. The comics did, and we had a turnout of about.
We're gonna go down. One of our guys is going down.
We're
He's
gonna
long,
raise-
but we're gonna raise some funds for him.
And we had 5 paying customers,
dude.
which told us
Boom.
we weren't shit as far as promotionists. We nobody had any promotional skills, no PR, and all of us sat there going, "Too bad we weren't doing this for a better comic." And we sat there, and the thing is, us guys that were there to do this were all comics who rightfully should have been in front of a tribunal for the things that we had said. Not this mutt that
Come
calls
after
himself a
me,
comic.
somebody.
Somebody gonna be the next Lenny Bruce is this nigga here, you
Dig.
know. So, and I hate the way everybody brings in Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce did not punch down.
Dig.
That's what's
Exactly,
forgotten about
exactly.
it. You know, he went after the Catholic Church, which is, well, easy for a Jewish guy to do, but it's the biggest thing in the world. You know, he went after the government. And even Lenny Bruce is not all that shit hot to me, because you talk about Lenny Bruce, but Dick Gregory asked him to march with him and Martin Luther King. And meanwhile, Dick had his head bandaged from some other rally where either the cops or the bricks got thrown and what have you. And Lenny said, no, I don't want to bring heat to your movement. And said, well, we got dogs and hoses on us. How much heat can you bring?
Plus, anybody who themselves say they want to be Lenny Bruce, full of shit to me.
Yeah.
That's what somebody else says.
You know, because everybody wants to be Lenny Bruce, but nobody wants to die. And unfortunately, our time for this segment is dead.
Hallelujah.
Overdose found on the toilet with a needle on our arm and our pants around our ankles.
And the tribunal is going to take us to the ground, too.
Well, I don't know. So I just remember when tribunals was about if you got called a racial slur at work, or if there was like a noose hanging over, or, you know, if any of the things I did when I had a day job that I thought was a joke, you know, or if you're trying to rent an apartment and you refuse because of your background or whatever the thing that you is. To me, that's what tribunals are for, not for hurt feelings.
True. I agree with you.
And basic, and folks, you're very lucky because like Clifton's kind of personality that gets to be on a tribunal.
Yep, and I have that gavel come on down hard on you suckers.
You got to worry about
You
the
hear me?
real Judge Dredd.
Dig.
This is the real Judge Dredd.
200 years, baby, and $350,000 to die today.
Just because I told them they look good in their Birkenstocks. Anyway, folks, that's Breaking Down the News. Clifton Joseph, I'm Kenny Robinson. Keep on checking us out here at Smitty TV, because you never know what we're going to say that may get us
Neither do we.
on charges.
Neither do we most of the time, man.
All right.